Hi everyone, Coach Sullivan here again with MGS Coaching Football. To my subscribers, I thank you, and non-subscribers, I hope I can tease you into pushing that button. This coming fall, I'll be entering my 39th year coaching football, and I'll be a defensive coordinator. But over that time, I've also been an offensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, longtime head coach, and all of this at both the collegiate and high school levels. In this Base Fronts on Film clip, I'm going to show you what we call our shade front, and we're going to be in our base match quarters, gray 4, okay? Balls on the hash, as I've shown you on base fronts on a whiteboard. The shade front is typically one we use when the ball's on the hash, okay? Um, this is a unique personnel grouping. Curry College is in white tops, purple pants, and Nichols College, my defense here, is in the green tops and black pants. This is week 10 on a freezing cold day in mid-November. Okay. So they have what we would call 10 personnel, but this offensive player is a tweener. So they had shown they like to line him up in more of a tight end position. So when he was in the game and the ball was on the hash, we were going to go to our shade front in anticipation of this type of formation. And if he wasn't lined up here to make it a 3 receiver set, he would be lined up over here to make it a 2x2. But either way, he lined up fairly tight. Okay. So this was a running grouping. So we went to our shade front, which puts the rover to the big field when ball's on the hash. Okay. And so what they were doing was they were also putting the 3 receivers to the big field. So it worked out perfectly. Okay. So again, when I say again, I mean when we go to the tight copy, this would make a lot more sense. Alrighty. So we have essentially a 6-man box, but it's a 4-man front. Okay, and we keep our rover in his normal 2-point stance. Alrighty, but now we have a 3 technique. See, there's the key. This is our rover, and next to him is the 3 technique. All right. And there, Curry, that is a pistol team 100%, but they will still like to run the zone read, which is more or less what they have there, and that is a fantastic job. Well, now when I go to the tight copy, I can show you the ins and outs as to why we would show them a shade front. The year before we played them in week 7, we gave them our usual odd look, okay, which meant no 3 technique. So they were preparing for that. So now, right, 4-man front. Here's a 9 technique rover. Here's a 3. In the shade look over here, we got a 2 technique. Now he's an A-gap defender. The 2 techniques hidden right now. He's an A-gap defender, okay? And what we actually chose to do was keep both of our edge defenders in a 2-point stance, okay? They seem to be better able to hold the edge, set the edge versus the reach block on the zone scheme. Right, so you couldn't really see that from the wide copy, but now you can. So a big part of the game plan was that for that reason. Okay, so edge defender, our rover, also an edge defender. So he's in a stand-up 5. He's in a stand-up 9. Okay, 3 technique, 2 technique, and in our shade front, both inside linebackers are head up on the offensive tackle. Okay. And so this is a little counter action blocking scheme, right? What we call this GY. So as I made mention, not enough friction, which means hands knock them off course, so now our linebacker can more easily scrape over the top. And consequently, he's not able to get into a spill because he doesn't friction. So his body position is not great. Great collision, but see, because he doesn't spill, there's the tight end who's able to easily turn up inside of him, get upfield. Now, right, think this through. The center's trying to block back, but again, they had prepared for man over here, nobody on this guard, nobody on this guard, right? Guards are covered. So now the center has to come all the way back here to try and block the 3 technique. The 3 technique, when we had prepared for this, does a beautiful job getting over the top of the center. The linebacker here does a fantastic job reading his surface and then try to follow him. I'll stop it and point him out. There is the linebacker right there. Okay, perfect, coming from the backside. Along with number 75 here is that 3 technique. Okay, so just by showing them a different front, one that we play and put in preseason and work in the spring to utilize versus a 10 personnel grouping, which this was technically, okay, ball in the hash to the big field. We threw it against Curry, and they weren't necessarily prepared for it. Now, they made adjustments, absolutely, but then the score got in our favor to an extent where they had to throw the football. Okay, so shade, a nice way in the 3-4 to utilize your personnel, your 3-4 personnel, and cause problems for your opponent's blocking schemes. Okay? So as I said at the beginning, to my subscribers, I thank you, and non-subscribers, I hope I teased you into pushing that button. I want to thank you for watching MGS Coaching Football, and I want to thank YouTube for providing this platform.